Tight on that road, keep it up.
Whoa, great! Oh no, big mistake! I had to go back last and down to 10. No, he's an enemy corner. It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 5 of the Formula SimRacing World Championship of 2018 from sunny Silverstone in Northamptonshire where we are currently in qualifying. And we had a weird situation just now where no one went out for the first 40 seconds, so obviously a little bit of qualifying strategy taking place there, but now we see some cars on track getting ready for their very first flying lap today. And I believe the first driver on track was George Manosakis. So he's going to be the first driver to start a lap. But joining me in the commentary box today, we have, well, not actually in the commentary box, but we have our cameraman Peter Schulze, and I'm being joined by another commentator as well, Cameron Roger, who has just put his microphone on mute. So maybe maybe he's not quite ready yet.
No, hello. I'm here now. Pressed the wrong buttons. Anyway, yes, so
All right.
Welcome everyone to this sunny Silverstone today. Yeah, for some reason, not many drivers going out at the beginning. Although it is a relatively short lap here. We saw people in the 125s in previous categories in Ace and Pro today, and also in the practice session. So yes, we're going to be looking at some quick lap times today, so drivers don't need to spend the whole 20 minutes on the racetrack. Obviously, they have 20 minutes with 12 laps total, including in and out laps. And if you crash, then that also counts as a lap. So you have to be careful with when you use your 12 laps, because if not, and you use too many, you will get a DQ from the session and have to start from the back of the field.
That's right on board with Kirill Burakov as he starts a lap. This will give us a good showing of the Silverstone circuit as he flies through the Abbey and Farm complex at the start of the track before breaking down into the arena section. Well, not breaking down, but you know what I mean. He's missed the apex slightly at the loop and gets the power down now as you accelerate through Aintree before opening the DRS and heading down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. Brooklands a long, difficult left-hander. A lot of overtaking going in there, but you have to be very brave to pull it off. Now for Luthold, an extremely long, very slow hairpin. Seems to go on for ages, and you don't know when to put on the power as we head towards Copse Corner now. Copse used to be the turn 1, but now is about turn 9, I think. Gets over the curb nicely on the exit, and as we head towards the most notorious part of the Silverstone circuit, the Maggots-Beckett-Chapley complex, you go left, right, and now open the DRS as you head down the Hanger Straight. We're just heading past Felix van Delft, setting up for his flying lap. Now through Stowe, very, very fast right-hander. You lean on the car through there and use the curb on the exit towards the Vale Club complex of, well, it's a chicane into the final corner. 2 apexes at turn 18. Gets slightly twitchy and across the line, and Kirill Burakov puts our first flying lap in today with a 125.889. Not bad, but the fastest laps we saw in Ace qualifying were in the 125.1s, so there is definitely still some time to be found on this track. So, whoa, just watching Daniel Kiss as he gets very sideways coming out the final corner, and that's compromised 2 laps rather than just 1 there. But this circuit, of course, a very popular one with the drivers. It's very popular indeed because of the fast nature of the corners, the technical nature of the circuit as a whole. It's been updated so many times that. Well, although it is an old track, it's not old-fashioned in the slightest, and there are some bits of the track which are as new as being implemented in 2010. That's the whole arena section that you see snaking off to the infield. That's only been there since 2010. The club corner has been changed quite a lot at around the same time, as well as Maggots and Beckett actually has only been there since the 1990s. So. A lot of this track is new and not part of the original 1940s racetrack that existed here after World War II, based on an old World War II aircraft or airfield. And of course, the very first Formula One World Championship Grand Prix was held here in 1950, won by Giuseppe Farina in the Alfa Romeo. But today we have the FSR cars racing here, and still only 3 drivers have actually set laps so far. So still many drivers waiting for the ideal opportunity. It's still Kirill Burikov at the top of the order, followed by Felix van Dijk and Remco Major, as we're waiting for more drivers to put in laps. Cameron, what are you expecting from this race today? Who should we look out for, and who goes well at a track like this?
I think Cameron is not here currently, but
You're
I'll
right.
jump in for him. I think the usual candidates are Johnny Simoncic, who will do well. He's also on the 2 purpose sectors right now, purpose sector 1, purpose sector 2, going onto the start-finish straight now. He will set provisional pole, and it will be a 25.3. That's half a second clear of Germano Zappala on B2. And I think Michele De Alessandro, our current championship leader, will be a threat. He's currently on a lap as well. Purpose sector 2 better than Johnny Simoncic by 1/10. If he was 2/10 slow in sector 1 though, so he needs a really good last sector, otherwise he won't get the provisional pole position. And he only gets P2, 25.46. Yeah, and I think we also should take a look at Tal, Michi Hoya probably, and I think Peter Bojak as well. They will all be a threat for the win here.
Yeah, definitely some good calls, as Sergi Heras now puts his car to 3rd with a fastest 3rd sector of anyone, but his 1st and 2nd sectors considerably off, I'm afraid. But as Villa Lepala now puts his car to 3rd, Villa Lepala up into 3rd position with a 125.630. Still more time to be gained, because the pole position in Ace was a 125.16, I believe. So definitely still more time to be gained, and well, it'll all be about who can actually do it. I'm watching Mohamed Patel now, because Mohamed Patel is going pretty well in the first 2 sectors here, and just coming through to finish his first lap. Of course, Patel 3rd in the championship. He's last year's champion, remember, and across the line he goes now. It's 5th position so far, behind Sergi Heras and Lapalette. So 5th position for Mohamed Patel so far, as more laps come in. But Jurgen Simoncic is currently leading this, followed by Martin Gosby, who goes to 2nd now, and Michele De Alessandro currently in 3rd position. But Gosby, the latest proper improvement, with 2nd position there. What can Gianfranco Giglioni do? He's been setting his first lap there, and it's P14 at the minute, so definitely more time to be gained there. Just watching Giordano Valeriano coming through, as Valeriano finished 2nd in the Ace Championship earlier, goes with a 126.095. He actually didn't qualify very well earlier. He actually qualified 10th, but made his way through on strategy and race pace to finish 2nd earlier on. Very nearly won the race, but he, well, I think it was only his grid position that cost him the win, actually. If he'd started 2 or 3 positions higher and just got those extra spaces at the start, then who knows what he could have done. But I can imagine P1 would have been very possible for him. Florian Becker coming through the last sector on his first lap. That's P13 from Becker there. It's a 126.0 as he goes up into P13. And now most of the drivers are on their 2nd or 3rd attempt. Well, not really 3rd, but most of the drivers are on their 2nd attempt now. Peter Broliak went quicker than his personal best in the 1st sector there. He's just heading towards the Maggots and Beckett's complex. Currently P13. Now who's just gone faster than him, because he was in P12? It's Sander Callas, because Callas has just gone into 3rd position now. So Sander Callas up into 3rd position with a 125.404. That's about what the pro pole lap was earlier on. So still no properly quick laps from these World Championship drivers. Maybe the track conditions just aren't as quick as they were earlier. Petar Briliak out of the final corner goes up into 5th. So Briliak up into 5th there with a 125.515. Germano Zappola there puts in another quick lap, but not quick enough to move him any higher than P13. Felix van Delft's on a good one. Felix van Delft moves himself up. Where did he go? 8th. Immediately demoted to 9th by Jim Parisis. So Parisis up to 2nd, to 8th rather. Van Delft down to 9th there. And I've just seen a purple second sector from Jürgen Simonchik. His first sector wasn't that good, but his second sector has been. Is it an improvement? No, it isn't. So obviously, the time he gained in the second sector wasn't enough to make up for his first or his third sectors. And Simonchik does not go any quicker in terms of his overall lap just yet.
And Mitch Hoyer just set the provisional
yes.
pole time. 25.258, faster than his teammate Jenny Simičić.
I wasn't even looking at Hoyer because he was so far down the order that I barely noticed him there until he crossed the line. It's a 125.259, still not as quick as the ace pole, but a very quick lap from Michi Hoyer to put himself up into the top of the order in the ACR car, ahead of his ACR teammate Jürgen Simonchik in second position there. So it's an ACR front row as it stands, and ACR again asserting their dominance over this field. Obviously, ACR has been one of the most famous and dominant racing teams in recent history, and especially in sim racing, of course. As now we're seeing purple sectors galore for 4th and 5th. Callas is purple in the first sector. D'Alessandro purple in the second and third. D'Alessandro goes up to 2nd in the order, just 100th of a second behind Michele D'Alessandro. Now I'm waiting for Sander Callas because Callas is purple in the first sector and he is still on a lap. He's coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully they get out of the way nicely. They do. That's oh no, they don't. What's happened there? I think there was contact. I think
there wasn't. He lost a lot of time behind the Invictus car. He was in the way through Chapel, and you get lots of dirty air if you have a car that close in front of you, and that means your car will understeer and you will lose a lot of time.
Well, that's a shame for Sander Callas, who was on a quicker lap until that happened. And yeah, as you say, it did seem like he just lost a lot of. Well, it seemed like that was all pretty innocent. He just didn't steer in time for Chapel, looking back at it, and there was contact between the two of them. That's why Araneda went off as well, because as Callas came out, he touched the front wing of Araneda's car. They both went off, and that's the lap ruin for Callas. Araneda wasn't on the lap anyway. Callas hit the wall, but well, it's a shame because Callas was on a much quicker lap there. Now looking back through the order, a couple of guys on green sectors, no purples at the minute. Daniel Kiss has just set his best first sector. He's currently in 8th position. But goes over the grass at Kops, so that's not going to be an improvement for him. And Kirill Burakov now is going faster than his best in both sectors, in both of the first two sectors so far, as he rounds Kops and goes towards Vale and Club. He's currently P15. Now demoted to P16 by Sergei Heras. Not by Sergei Heras, by someone else. But across the line goes Kirill Burakov for 9th position there. So an improvement from Kirill Burakov. Now Petar Briliak goes faster again in the first sector. He's still got about half the lap to go until he can post this lap. But Briliak faster than his best in the first sector. Just going through Kops now. This is where we saw a lap being ruined just now, but keeps it within the lines. It's a very fast corner. Kops gear 8. I see they're taking it in today, and that's phenomenal. Seeing as a few years ago you had to shift down about 2 gears for that corner. Now it's pretty much flat, which is really quite incredible to watch, especially on board with the other cars. I should point out the top 4 drivers here are separated by less than half a tenth of a second, so it's again a very close field. In the ace qualifying rather, we had the top 23 drivers separated by less than a second. Now we have the top 20 drivers separated by less than a second, as Petr Briliak does move up to 5th position with that lap. So a quick lap from Briliak. Quick second sector from Michi Hoyer. So Hoyer might be about to improve his lap. His first sector wasn't quite there, but he can still salvage this lap. He's got Vale and Club to go. So Michi Hoyer. Oh my word! And Simonchik said exactly the same lap as him. Oh, and Hoyer's lost it. So Hoyer might have been on a quicker lap there. We'll never know because he lost control of the car and went into the wall. But Hoyer and Simonchik have now set exactly the same lap. But Hoyer is going to be ahead for setting it slightly sooner than Simonchik. So the two ACR cars so evenly matched. They've set exactly the same time ahead of D'Alessandro and Gosby, and that is really quite an amazing situation there. Mohamed Patel now moves back up into 5th position there. So Patel, who's 3rd in the championship, goes up into 5th in the order. We've just got Cameron Roger back now. Cameron, look at those times at the top of the order. The top 5 now separated by less than half a second. Incredible.
Yeah, just go away for 5 minutes to come back and come to this. This is awesome. Yeah, the lap times are certainly very close at this track, and as you say, top 5 were barely within half a tenth. And looks like they're all going out for their final runs now, so maybe some improvements still to be made. But that is pretty crazy how close those drivers are right now.
It's going to be a shootout. D'Alessandro just had to go, just had to take avoiding action in the pit lane there as Sergio Arias came out right in front of him. But yeah, it's going to be a real shootout now between possibly even the top 11 here. But into the pits comes Sadler and Burakov. I don't know if they're going to get another go. They need to go out quickly if they are going to. Sadler exits the pits, so it's going to be a shootout. In fact, Burakov's coming out too. It's going to be a shootout between the top 10 cars here at the end of this session. We're in for an absolute cracker of a finish to the qualifying session. It's been close so far. It's going to get even more ferocious now as the drivers are going to properly go for it here. And well, we have 3 drivers who are still waiting in the pits. I believe they're the drivers with penalties. Harley Hamlet, David Greco, and Wojciech Lukaszek. They're probably going to have to start from the pit lane here.
Yeah, Greco doesn't actually have a penalty, as far as I'm aware, so maybe he's just deciding not to do it for whatever reason. But one driver who's slightly disappointed right now is George Manasakis, down in 19th place. I mean, he was battling for, well, top 5 last 2 weeks ago in Montreal before he had to have a stop-go penalty because he sped on his final pit stop. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing for him to be down there, only a 26.1. I mean, many Ace and Pro drivers went quicker than that. So that's a shame for George thus far. Maybe he's just made a couple of mistakes, but he still has 1 lap left. Oh, actually, no, he's not going to have 1 lap left because he's not on track. So yeah, drivers starting their laps now. This is the final laps, almost getting down to 1 second left. So yeah, let's see what these drivers can do. Simonchik is the first man out. He's in Sector 1, coming around Turn 4 right now. He is obviously in P2 right now. Can he make basically just 1,000th of a second improvement to get pole position?
Yeah, definitely. And
he's coming very quickly right now, and then into Luffield again. Car looks quite nice and stable. Can he get the power nicely? Yes. Tiny bit of oversteer, so this is looking decent. Although first sector is some sort of 0.2 of a second off what he needs to be doing compared to some other drivers. So I'm not sure about this lap so far. Maybe his car is set up for the middle sector. And Michi Hoyer as well is on the lap. Oh, well, so is everyone. Alessandro, Gosby, all in the first sector now.
Yeah, D'Alessandro and Hoyer have both set faster first sectors than Simonchik here. But it's all about what he can do for the rest of the lap. It's not a quick second sector from Simonchik. So it's not a quick second sector from Simonchik, and he's abandoned back to the pits because he knows that there's no hope of scoring pole position now. But D'Alessandro might be on a flyer here. He's coming through Chapel Curve now. Let's see what the second sector time is. He's actually getting slipstream now. Who's that from? Is that from Mohamed Patel? It is. So Patel might be accidentally helping D'Alessandro
Not
here.
accidentally, that was on purpose.
Oh, that's not accidentally.
Yeah,
those are not technically teammates, but they are in sister cars. And D'Alessandro now goes fastest in the second sector, and he is well and truly on for pole here if Hoyer can't defend, because up to the top of the order goes Michele D'Alessandro with a 125.003. Fastest lap we've seen from anyone this weekend. Hoyer goes second. Hoyer goes second with a 125.050. He cannot match Michele D'Alessandro, so that is second for Hoyer. What about Gosby? Gosby is third. So Gosby goes third at 125.192. Still a quick lap, but it's only third position. And that's it. So every driver has set a lap now. It's D'Alessandro going to the top with that sneaky slipstream from Mohamed Patel. Of course, both the Sabima Racing team and the Muster Racing team are technically run by the same people. So Patel would have been doing that strategically there, giving D'Alessandro the slipstream. Michele D'Alessandro, our championship leader, leads the race now with qualifying to his favour. Hoyer is second, followed by Gosby, Simonchik, Parisis, Patel, Brilliak, Callas, Lepola, Kiss, Zappola, Zappola, that's interesting. Burakov, Sadler, Burakov, Van Delft, Masciuli, Heras, Valeriano, Becker, Manosakis, Araneda, Major, Giglioni, and then starting from the pits, Hamnet, Greco, and Lukashev.
Yeah, that was certainly a very close qualifying, so a very exciting race to come. But stand by, we'll take a break and we'll be back in a few minutes to run through the order and get this exciting race going. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Hey man, I got that new TMX Thrustmaster wheel. It's going down.
Xbox One?
I can't wait to play when I get home.
You'll let me play?
Yeah, after I play first. Yeah.
You know, I'll race it for it.
So I have to hand
Do you want a more immersive experience? Thrustmaster T150 Force Feedback Racing Wheel. Official PS3 and PS4 licenses, and also PC compatible. Rubber coated wheel grips. 1080 degrees of rotation. Adjustable force feedback. Large metal sequential pad. Optimized ergonomic design. Mixed belt, pulley, and gears system. Thrustmaster. Enter into the real driving world.
Sizable not low, keep it up.
Whoa, wait!
Oh no, big mistake! I had to go back last and down to 10. No, he's dynamic conference.
It has been an absolutely astonishing season.
Hello and welcome back to round 5 of the Formula SimRacing World Championship from Silverstone today. We're just finishing the warm-up session here, so let's take a look at the championship standings as we head into this race. The first in the drivers is Michele D'Alessandro, leading by 6 points from Jerne Simoncic in the ACR. In third is Mohamed Patel with Petr Breliak, his sister teammate in P4, and Michi Hoyer in 5th. Jim Paresis is in 6th with Eros Mashudi behind him. Felix van Delft in his rookie season in WC is in 8th with 16 points, followed by Sada Kalas in 12th, and Daniel Kiss and Manuel Biancalilla rounding out the top 10. In the constructors, we have ACR leading by 1 point to Musto Racing with the sister team Sabema Racing behind them with 83 points. And there's quite a big gap down to Edge Esports on 29 points, but behind them it's very close with Twister on 24, Scara on 23, and Netrex on 21. And the last teams to get points are Flagged Flag, Thrustmaster Racing, and Ghostspeed. And unfortunately, Flagged Flag Engineering, Madcape, Invictus, and Torrent haven't scored any points yet, but there's still plenty of races for them to do that. So certainly a close championship at the moment, really between ACR and Musto. But let's see how that changes today.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Close championships in both. You have to remember that it's 2 wins apiece for D'Alessandro and Simonchik. It's just that D'Alessandro has been more consistent, as he has scored a 2nd place and a 3rd place, and Simonchik has scored a 4th place and a 3rd place, aside from those wins. So D'Alessandro, yeah, leading the championship by 6 points, but 6 points is really not much at all. You get 6 points for finishing in 7th position, I believe. So a lot up for grabs today. Just looking at the YouTube chats, a lot of people I recognise here. Hello to all of you, and Babaluba84 says, what's the fastest lap on Silverstone? So the fastest lap of the day so far was the lap we just saw in qualifying there from Michele D'Alessandro, and that was a 125.003, an incredible fast lap there. In the race, we tend to get around 128s as the fastest, mid 128s. They were the fastest in the Ace Championship earlier, when people had just switched onto a new set of soft tyres. Takes about a lap to get them up to temperature, and then you can just push after that. We get the soft, the medium, and the hard compounds for the race, as just reiterated by the Formula SimRacing YouTube account in the chat there. But the majority of them here will be starting on the softer compounded tyres, because those are the ones that most of these drivers would have just qualified on. So onto the grid we go, and let's run through the order. So it's Michele D'Alessandro at the top of the order here, followed by Michi Hoyer, Martin Gosby, Yerne Simonchik, Jim Parisis, Mohamed Patel, Petar Brilyak, Sander Callas, Villa Lapila, Daniel Kiss, Germano Zappola, James Sadler, Kirill Burakov, Felix van Delft, Eris Masciuli. Those are the top 15, and remember, the top 15 in the race score points. So if they were to finish like this, those drivers would score points. But behind them and driving for those points, fighting hard, I'm sure, will be Sergi Heras, Giordano Valeriano, Florian Becker, George Manosakis, Jos Araneda, Remco Major, Gianfranco Giglioni, Harley Hamlet starting from the pits, David Greco, who is actually on track, seeing as he didn't have a penalty. He just decided not to go out in qualifying. And also starting from the pits will be Wojciech Lukaszek.
Yeah, looking how close the times were in qualifying, this is going to be a really good race, I reckon. The top 10 was so close, only a couple of tenths separating them. So we're really looking at a close race today, and especially with Simonchik starting from 4th. Obviously, his championship rival is Michele D'Alessandro, who got pole position, as Josh just said. So he's going to need to try and make up some of that ground with the 2 cars in between him. I'm sure Michi Hoyer will. Well, actually, no, Michi Hoyer probably won't help him quite at this stage of the season. But as teammate, if there was a situation, maybe he would be a bit kinder than before.
Apparently, Simonchik's name is supposed to be pronounced as Simonchik. So Simonchik will be starting the ACR car from 4th position in this race. Just had that update from Risto Capit, and I see the Kirky life laughing at my pronunciations as well. So I'm trying my best. I do apologise to the drivers' names that I butcher. You know, well, comes with practice. But anyway. So, Michele D'Alessandro leading us around in the Sabima racing car to the grid, just going around the club corner now, turn 18.
Wow. Michi Hoy's doing a very, very slow last sector here.
Yeah, he is.
D'Alessandro is miles ahead there, but I mean, even then, Greco's only coming up to Stowe now, so D'Alessandro might be sitting in his grid box for quite a few seconds, which is not good for the engine temperatures. But hopefully, he has got his radiator set correctly. That is not an issue.
Wondering whether that's what Hoyer wants. He wants the grid to stack up a little bit, so that D'Alessandro is waiting for longer. D'Alessandro has actually overshot his grid box slightly. I'm wondering whether the game's still allowing that, but certainly looks like he's overshot it. But anyway, everyone now lining up on the grid, just waiting for everyone to get into place. David Greco will be the last car actually on the grid. He lines up in the 24th grid slot, although there are only 23 cars on the grid due to 2 cars starting from the pits. Here come the starting lights, and when they go out, we will be underway, and it's a good start now at the front from Michele D'Alessandro there, who leads us into turn 1. And behind, there's slight contact for third position, and someone goes barreling off in the background. 2 spinners, 3 spinners, so there's cars off in the gravel, and one of them is George Manasoukas. James Sadler is also off, and there was a third car involved, and it's Daniel Kiss who has lost his front wing. So a little bit of carnage, and there's another car who has spun in the arena section. I'm just trying to pick out who that is. It's Giordano Valeriano. So Valeriano spins, and Michele D'Alessandro leads at the front of the order, followed by Hoyer, Simonchik, Gosby. Sideways goes Gosby, and through goes Patel around the outside. Does he hold it? Yes, looks like he does. There's more contact, and they almost lock wheels, but Patel keeps ahead of Gosby there, and that's for 4th position. Very, very close on the edge, the ragged edge, but Patel gets 4th position from Gosby, and they're ahead of Parisis, Brelyak, Lepola, Zapola, and Burikov, who make up the top 10 drivers in this race. But who's going to get the slipstream heading down this hangar straight this time around? It's going to be, well, looks like Gosby tried to pull out the slipstream from Patel there, but didn't get close enough. There was a bit of a lockup from someone there as 2 teammates go by side, and Heras loses it. Whoa, good save there from Heras. He was side by side with his teammate Florian Backer. Those cars at flag to flag engineering, very close, and Giglioni's getting involved as well. Giglioni trying to go around the outside, but what a ragged first lap from a lot of these guys. It's not been a very safe one. Valeriano's crabbing back to the pits. Daniel Kiss is in the pits, missing his front wing. Harley Hamlet's just come out of the pits. He's in 23rd position. Eros Masciuli is in the pits. I mean, Hamlet started in the pits, but yeah, we've had a variety of different amounts of contact on that first lap, but everyone's still running in this race.
Yeah, I just had a look back at the replay, and yeah, there was basically Daniel Kiss went into turn 1 and made contact with his teammate, lost the front wing, and then there's a separate incident involving a Ghostby car and some more contact with I think it was Valeriano at that point. So yeah, not the cleanest of start in the back there, but it seems that most people are generally okay. Although I think Daniel Kiss is going to retire. Yes, he has. So yeah, Valeriano as well, I think, might be retiring. So yeah. That is unfortunately their race done, but back at the front, Michi Hoyer is battling Michele D'Alessandro. Obviously, no DRS just yet, but he's still going down the inside into Stowe, but not quite making the move. D'Alessandro holds it round the outside nicely, keeping that position from the ACR driver. But yeah, Michi Hoyer doing a nice job here. Didn't have the best race last time in Montreal, but still pretty decent nonetheless, getting a couple of points, but certainly battling for the lead today, with Simonchik having a good start, getting up to 3rd. Unfortunately, Gosby dropped behind Simonchik and Patel and down in 5th place.
He certainly had a look into Stowe, didn't he? It was very ambitious, but it looked as if he was actually going for it. It didn't really look speculative, but had to back out of it in the end. It's still D'Alessandro leading, and after the first 2 laps of this race, it's D'Alessandro from Hoyer, Simonchik, Patel, Gosby, Parisis, Belyak, Belyak, I think I'm being told to pronounce it. Lepola, Zapola, and Burikov. Those are the top 10, followed by Van Delft, Callas, Becker, Major, and Heras. They're the top 15. and if the race finishes like this, they'll be the ones who will score the points. And we've lost 2 drivers involved in the opening instance, and those are Giordano Valeriano and Daniel Kiss.
The drivers very close together, especially in this mid-pack. There's going to be quite a lot of DRS or slipstreaming going on down on this hangar straight. There's going to be a lot of them. Yeah, look at all these cars. Basically, the whole field in one line at this moment in time. They'll be conserving their fuel, because obviously if you are sort of in the mid-pack of this, you're going to just get loads of slipstream, but not much chance of overtaking, as the car in front has DRS as well. So they'll be saving their fuel mixtures. Oh, and that's Giglioli and David Greco going off at the final chicane. He's had to go all over the grass, and he's dropped a couple of positions there. And in the background, I saw an Invictus. Yes, there's Invictus. Jos Araneda with no wheel on the back. He has had a big crash coming out of slow. Let's see if we can get a replay of that, because that is quite a big crash from Jos Araneda.
He went over the grass on the exit and decided to keep the engine running, spun the car around, very nearly got collected from behind by George Manasakis, but round he went and into the barrier, Marcus Ericsson style. A big hit, and out of the race goes Jos Araneda. He tried to limp it back to the pits, actually. That's interesting, but didn't quite make it. That would have been a really, really good recovery if he'd managed it. He didn't have any power going to that car, but he was coasting back to the pits nonetheless. But he has retired from this race now. And to be honest, I'm really quite sad about that, because if he had recovered it somehow, got it back to the pits, that would have been utterly incredible. Just had a look back at what actually took Kiss and Valeriano out of the race. It seemed that after the pit stops, they exited the pits, drove for a couple of corners, and then gave up. So obviously they felt that the car had not repaired the damage. But whatever the case, still close up the front, and I'd say there's still a battle for the lead going on, as Hoyer is sticking with D'Alessandro here. He's not had a proper attack for a little while, but he's still right with him. The gap is registered as near as makes no difference, 7/10 of a second on that last lap. As we go on to lap 5 now, and still the order remains pretty much as it did after the first lap. But I'm looking also at Simonchek and Patel, as there's Callas is off, so and he's out, so we've had another retirement. Sander Callas has lost it, and that looks like he's lost the engine. Yeah, he spun it going into the village corner, got on the curb, looped it around, and obviously just couldn't keep the engine. So out of the race has gone Sander Callas, and he will be our 4th retirement from this race. Remember, we had 10 retirements from the Ace race earlier, so maybe this track is one that provokes attrition.
Yes, Sander Callas not having the best season. At the end, he's the Ace champion from last season, and at the end of the season, after he won the championship, he did some races for Netrex. And I mean, in Brazil, he was fighting for the win until the very end of that final race of last season. Very good race if you want to go back and watch that Brazil round 16 of last year. But yeah, it hasn't done quite so well this year so far, unfortunately for him. And yeah, just stalling the car there, nothing he could have really done apart from press the clutch, and obviously he didn't.
Further in the back we can see Giglioli making a move onto Remco Major. Remco defending into Stowe, manages to keep his position against Giglioli.
Remco Major, the only driver in the field to run the Halo for his Torrent Motorsports car. Certainly an interesting look, and only seems that he in WC wants to run that, but certainly quite a nice novel.
Burikov and Zappala side by side through turn 3, through turn 4. Let's see who of these gets the DRS. I think it might be Burikov ahead who gets the DRS. Let's see.
Well, he's got the place. He doesn't open the DRS because Zappala was slightly behind through the detection zone. But Kirill Burikov gets 9th position now ahead of Zappala. Luckily splitting Lepler and Zappala, so that saves me a bit of a tongue twister there. It's quite nice to say actually, but you can have a real rhythm when saying that. But whatever the case, he's got between them. And I've just seen a YouTube comment that's made me laugh a bit there. I said that Arenado's crash was Ericsson style, and Babaloup has taken that to mean that Ericsson has caused another crash. Of course, that referring to what Romain Grosjean said after crashing under safety
Und
car
jetzt von Mitchell
at
making a
Baku
move
this year.
onto Michele D'Alessandro into Stowe. They're side by side through Stowe. Still
And
side
still
by
the
side on the
leaders are
exit.
side by side heading down towards Vale. If Michi Hoyer can break later, he might be able to keep himself alongside, but D'Alessandro cuts it off. That was aggressive defence, but that's what you need to do when you're leading a race like that. D'Alessandro from Hoyer, and very good defence there. Hoyer has been reeling him in, and well, I probably should have seen that coming, but Hoyer had an attack, and now he's just got to set himself up again. If he can hold with D'Alessandro through this arena section and get a good exit, he might be able to go for an attack through the DRS zone at the Wellington Straight here. I think going to the inside of the loop there was a bit of a mistake, because now he's got a slow exit to the corner, but Hoyer still second position. His teammate behind him actually got the DRS as well, Simonchek. We've effectively got about a 3-car battle for the lead here, but of course Simonchek and Hoyer are teammates here. They're just both hunting Michele D'Alessandro. So we have a pack of ACR Piranhas now chasing down the leader, Michele D'Alessandro, in the Sabima racing car, and behind them stream the rest of the pack.
Michele seems to have this, well, when Hoyer goes down the inside, Michele seems to have the outside covered, so maybe Hoyer needs to try use his fuel or something in a different location of the track, because that's twice now. He's tried to go down the inside, but hasn't quite been able to make it work. So he obviously needs to try and get a little bit closer, or maybe try to go around the outside himself, because Michele seems to be quite good on the defence into that corner. We have Remco, no, Giglioli, sorry, finally getting past Remco. Remco almost lost it on the exit there, but Giglioli down the inside into Stowe corner in the Thrustmaster racing car, and that is him up to 14th place.
Yeah, Giglioli up into 14th ahead of Remco Major, but Luke Maguire says Michi is going to destroy his tyres following so close behind to D'Alessandro. I was thinking that because he was following him at about half a second rather than at about a second, which tends to be the gap we do see between cars. And of course, then you lose all of the downforce, or most of the downforce, through the corners, and you get caught out in all of that turbulent air. And yeah, as he says again, they're just slowing each other up now, which at this stage in the race isn't too bad, because they're holding up the rest of the pack as well. Remember, but when the strategy starts to get involved later on, that's when holding up other drivers is going to start being important. But yeah, really, it's all about Michele D'Alessandro, Michi Hoyer, and Jürgen Simonchik at this point in the race. And Mohamed Patel is actually only just behind Simonchik, so maybe Patel can get involved in this as well. And in fact, looking back, there's not a second between D'Alessandro, Hoyer, Simonchik, Patel, Gosby, Parisis, Belyak, Lepela, or Lepela. So it's effectively a battle. Well, it could be an 8-way battle for the lead here. Incredible.
David Greco almost lost it coming up into Stowe. He was DRSing Remco Major, and he went to the left, lost the rear a little bit, went on the grass, but managed to save it. Almost like what Maldonado did back in Austria 2015, I think it was, when he was overtaking Max Verstappen, almost losing the rear under DRS. But yeah, good save from the Italian there. That was almost quite a big crash.
Yeah, I often think that DRS can sometimes be a little bit dangerous, and that's one of the situations. But a good save there from David Greco. I've just seen it as well. Got right under the grass there, fantastic. But not so fantastic for him, because he's dropped back from Remco Major. But now he might be going for it on the inside of Brooklands. That's ambitious, very ambitious. But he's got it. My goodness, and Major will not be happy about that, because if he hadn't seen Greco coming there would have been absolutely monstrous collision. And now the gap to the lead again within a second. They just pulled to about a second before, but Hoyer again pulls it back in, and it's certainly not over yet for the lead of the race. And I'd still say we have an 8-car chain for the lead of the race here. Absolutely amazing. Just saw someone losing places. I think Major is now behind Manosukis as well.
Yeah, Manosukis I think made a move just before Maggots and Beckett's, and yeah. And Michihara is now really close to Michele D'Alessandro. He was 1 second behind him for the stone down hanger straight, and now he's within 10th, I think, going onto the next straight. Let's see what he can do down Wellington.
He's setting it up, he really is, but I saw the difference between the car with all of the downforce and with less of the downforce as they headed through turn 1, because they both steered at the same time. But D'Alessandro made the corner and Hoyer just sort of skated a bit. Did make the corner, but not anywhere near as smoothly as D'Alessandro did. But again, they were separated by less than half a second through the Sector 1 checkpoint there. And Michi Hoyer is really sticking very close to D'Alessandro. Again, if I was Hoyer, I'd be worried about my tyres, as Luke Maguire pointed out earlier. But still, Hoyer is not giving this up. He feels he is in a proper tussle for the lead of this race now. And, well, it's great to watch. He's in the DRS zone again, heading down the hanger straight. The gap is half a second. And as we go up towards Stowe, Hoyer's not going to be close enough, but he's close again. And, well, he's putting so much pressure on D'Alessandro. Surely one of them's going to make a mistake soon. As Patel again closes in. And, or Simonchuk rather, again closes in. And again, there's not a second gap anywhere up the front of the order as Kirill Burakov pits.
Yeah, Kirill Burakov, the first one who triggers the pit stop phase, I would say. He's a bit early, I think. I don't think we have talked about strategies yet. There are two possible strategies, stop-wise. Drivers can do 2 stops or 3 stops here, and if someone pits that early like Burakov, there's a good chance he will be a stopper.
He's taking the hard tyres though, so
he's going on to
if
the hard
he's going to
tyres.
do, say, hard or something like that, then he can possibly make a 2-stop. I'm not sure whether it's going to be the quickest, because obviously the hard tyres are quite slow.
Brilliak gets attacked by Jim Parisas down into Brooklands. Parisas manages to get past Brilliak. So the first one in the DS train to lose out is Peter Brilliak.
Yeah, so Parisas goes past Brilliak there into 6th position. And, well, that's a move in that chain that I was talking about. That chain from 1st down to 8th. And it still is a proper chain from 1st down to 8th, as I was saying. We have an 8-way battle for the lead here at FSR World Championship. And it's being headed by Michele D'Alessandro, but only just from Hoyer. Hoyer is less than half a second behind him. Hoyer might go for it here. Look at this. He pulls out to the inside. He's going to leave his braking later. Does he make the corner? Yes, he does. And finally Hoyer goes through. There's a slight twitch, but finally he goes through. D'Alessandro has another look, but it's speculative. And, well, it's changed. So Hoyer is through into the lead of the race, and Simonchik is only just behind them as well. And as we head out of club, the 3 of them are separated. The 4 of them are separated by less than 2 seconds. Patel behind them, right with them as well. This is brilliant.
Yeah, this is brilliant. This is brilliant racing here. Everyone is so close. It's really now they're probably just thinking about what lap they want to make a pit stop, because that's going to be coming up in the next sort of 5 laps. And you don't want to be the one staying out. You want to be getting that undercut, really, if possible. So the drivers here are going to be really thinking about when they want to make a pit stop, if they push for the next couple of laps and then pit lap earlier, or if they try and stay out for whatever reason, whatever strategy they want to do. But because it's so close, the undercut is going to potentially gain you a couple of positions.
Well, Wojciech Lukaszek just pitted. He's gone onto another set of soft tyres. He will probably be 3-stopping here. But Lukaszek out in 20th position now on a new set of soft tyres. He started the race on the soft tyres as well, which tells me that he's probably 3-stopping. But as we head out onto the hanger straight, I'm interested to see what the gap for the lead is. It's 7/10 of a second, so D'Alessandro is still right with Michi Hoyer, not quite as close to him as Hoyer was last time out. But remember, Hoyer was absolutely hounding D'Alessandro. This is a normal sort of 1st to 2nd gap for a battle like this. I've never seen someone hound another single-seater like Hoyer just did. He seemed to just defy the laws of downforce there, but somehow managed to make it work. And now D'Alessandro is having to hold with him as Parisas goes back past Brilliak. And into the pits comes Manasakis. So Manasakis, rather, into the pits from 13th position. He's currently on a set of soft tyres. And what does he pit for? This will tell us what sort of a strategy he's going for. Medium tyres. Now that could be a 3-stopper, but a safer one, or it could be it could be a 2-stopper, but a safer one, or it could be a 3-stopper. I'm not quite sure with the mediums. It definitely tells us a story when they go into the hard or the soft. He's just lost the place to Lukaszek there, so he's now in 20th position. But when they go onto the mediums, it could go either way, I think.
And further at the back, we have Remco Maillard dropping even more places now. Kirill Biolukov on his fresh hard tires just passed Remco Maillard down into Brooklands.
Yeah, so that will be for 15th position there. Burakov past Maillard. And 15th position goes the way of Burakov. Of course, that's an important position in the race because that's the position where you score where you start scoring points. Any higher than that, you score more points. Side by side, Hamnet and Manasakis there for. Oh no, that was Hamnet and Lukaszek there for 18th position. Lukaszek gets Hamnet there. Hamnet still yet to stop. He's on the softer tire. Lukaszek on a new set of softs rather. Hamnet on the medium. So of course it was very much an easy case there for Lukaszek as Manasakis now goes to the inside as well on his new set of mediums, and past Hamnet he goes. So that's been relatively easy as well as Florian Becker now pits from within the points, and he's now going to drop down into 17th position.
And we have Felix van Delft making a move onto German Zappala down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. They're side by side through Brooklands, and Zappala stays ahead of Felix van Delft there. They're battling for quite a few laps now, and it seems like Felix van Delft thinks, yeah, I've saved enough fuel, let's try to attack him.
Yeah, Van Delft definitely trying to attack, but not quite managing it there. It was close, but interestingly, it actually seems to be the outside you need at Brooklands a lot of the time, because then you get the inside for Luffield. But often it's not even that you have to wait that long. It's
higher pits. So this is the lap where you want to get the undercut, because I think a lot of people will be going basically to sort of lap 15, which is the next lap, and Gosby comes in as well, and so does Lapella. So yeah, Mitchie Hoyer and the two flags coming in. Hoyer has taken the medium tyres. Let's see what Zappala and Gosby do. Gosby takes mediums, and Zappala has to go around Gosby. That is very awkward. He takes the mediums also. So yeah, a lot of mediums.
And Gosby has to go around Lapella.
Yeah, a lot of mediums going on here. So yeah, this is sort of opening the door to a couple of strategies that they could do from Hoyer's point of view. He just needs to try and get the undercut on on Michaela. Really, that is all he needs to do to try and extend his lead. I would be surprised if Michaela and Yone do not pit this lap.
A good call, go onto the mediums early, and then you can see what you do later on. However, that has released Yone Simonchik to the back, Simonchich rather, onto the back of Michele D'Alessandro. So, he was already with him, but with that pit stop as well, they're fighting for the lead of the race. Maybe not effectively the lead of the race, but it's always very difficult to work out what is effective in these races. But Simonchik right with D'Alessandro, Simonchik rather.
Simonchik, right with Simonchik. Michele is pitting, Simonchik is pitting.
And in they go.
And I think Muhammad Patel is pitting as well, and Chaperizis is pitting. Peter Briliak is staying out for now.
And Hoyer had a faster
into
middle
the
sector.
What's that?
Hoyer had a faster middle sector, so he has definitely done an undercut. He is going to be gaining some seconds here. But Martin Gosby, who pitted only a couple of seconds behind, this is going to be crucial for him where he comes up regarding Simonchich and Patel, because that is who he was battling. And yeah, everyone else from the top has gone in apart from Petr Breliak. Let's see.
And all of those guys went onto the medium compacted tyre. Felix van Delft stayed out as well. Hoyer is ahead, so Hoyer is ahead of D'Alessandro still, and ahead of Simonchik. Heras is in there. Heras still hasn't pitted yet. Patel's been in. He is in 7th, followed by Gosby and Paresis, who also pitted on that lap. So out of the top 10, the drivers who haven't stopped yet are Briliak, Van Delft and Heras. So they are 1st, 2nd and 6th. Those are the drivers who I expect will stop on this lap, because running 15 laps on the soft is really quite difficult. They've managed it so far. Well, this will be 16 laps on the soft. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it is happening.
And Mohamed Patel has a bit of a problem right now. He's stuck behind Sergi Harras, one who hasn't pitted yet. He had a bad run through Cops behind Sergi Harras, but he needs to pass Sergi Harras as soon as possible to stay within the DS train of the leaders. If he doesn't manage it, he will lose a lot of time. And
Crosby lost a lot of time there somewhere to Mohamed Patel as well. The Petr Brelek is coming into the pit lane, I assume, for a set of mediums, because that seems to be what everyone else is going on, unless he's going to go for the softs and try and make this middle strategy work. No, he's going for the mediums as well, but he's going to come out at the back of this train for the lead.
And Hoyer passed Van Delft there, so Hoyer now up into the lead of the race. Van Delft still hasn't stopped yet. He's going for a very, very long stint there, but he should do, because he's on the medium compounded tyre, so it's really not that long at all. It just looks long because everyone around him's been pitting. But Van Delft, starting on the medium, is now in 2nd position on the road.
Yeah,
behind Michi Hoyer.
Patel now really close, making move on Sergi down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Clean move ahead of Sergi. That's everything he needed to do. Now he needs to get to the DS window of Gianni Simoncic to stay within the lead group.
And D'Alessandro passed Van Delft at the same time. So D'Alessandro now up into 2nd. He can focus on chasing down Hoyer as he was doing before. The gap is 0.8 of a second between Hoyer and D'Alessandro for the lead of this race. So Hoyer and D'Alessandro are the drivers we need to focus on. They're both on the same tyre, but Hoyer pitted at a slightly different time. He pitted on lap 15. D'Alessandro pitted on lap 16. So Hoyer's laps are, or Hoyer's tyres.
Simoncic making move onto Felix van Delft, down the hangar straight into Stowe. Felix thought about defending, but then Simoncic already was alongside him, and there was no chance to hold the position.
And Felix drops down to 4th position now. He will be dropping through the order at this point, because that's simply the strategy he's gone for.
And it looks like there was a bit of contact between Jim Paris and Sergi Harras. Now Petr Brelek managed to take the chance past Jim Paris, I should say, and now is on the hunt to pass Sergi Harras.
Yeah, that'll be for 8th position. So Harras is 7th, Brelek is 8th, and Harisis is 9th now. And those are very, very close, but as you say, they were even closer, possibly too close through the last checkpoint there. As now Harras comes under attack again from Brelek, and Brelek goes around the outside into Brooklands. Easy peasy, there we go. Jim Paris also coming under attack from Lepala there. And into the pits comes Harley Hamnet behind, so Hamnet going out on a set of soft tyres. He will probably be triple pitting here. Three stopping, that's the word. Triple pitting. I've invented a new piece of racing terminology there. But D'Alessandro, I tell you, is catching Hoyer. His last lap was about 0.3 of a second faster there from Hoyer, and maybe he's charging. Oh my word, it was actually 0.6 of a second faster. So D'Alessandro is going for it. We'll have to look at the lap times this time around, but Simoncic only just behind them as well. So again, it's a three-way battle for the lead of the race. What have you spotted?
Paris and Sergi Harras side by side again into the chicane. They're still side by side on the run on the start-finish straight, and now Jim Paris manages to get past Sergi Harras, and now he's under attack from Ville Lepala, I think, and Lepala managed to pass him as well, and now Sergi Harras under attack from Kirill Birukov.
Birukov goes to the outside. Harras is still there, but Birukov holds it around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, and keeps it there, but gets a bad exit, and Harras is going to be right with him on the exit of Aintree. Goes over the AstroTurf. That was close. Gets the DRS open. They both get the DRS open, and Birukov holds the position. Tell you what, that was close. Last lap between Hoyer and D'Alessandro. Well, it was actually faster. Oh, it was still... No, it was faster from Hoyer, but only just. So, nope, faster from D'Alessandro, but only just by 0.005 of a second. So they're still very, very close. D'Alessandro is still gaining, but really not by much. The gap remaining pretty stagnant there as they go onto the hanger straight. Really, I'm more worried about Simonchik behind, because Simonchik actually got the DRS there onto the hanger straight. D'Alessandro, I don't think he did. He didn't quite get close enough to Hoyer there to actually get the DRS. But Simonchik definitely gained on D'Alessandro there, so maybe it's second and third we need to be watching rather than first and second as they cross the line. Indeed, there's a much closer gap between D'Alessandro and Simonchik than between D'Alessandro and Hoyer. Into the pits last time around came James Sadler. He's coming now on a medium set of tyres in 18th position there.
Yeah, Michi Hoyer is thinking attacking is the best way to defending, so he just set the fastest lap of the race. And Muhammad Patel making a move onto Felix from left, down into Brooklands. Clean move from Mu, and now he's up into P4, needs to close up to Simoncic again to get within the DRS train of these top runners there. Yeah, and Michi Hoyer fastest lap, making the gap to Michele D'Alessandro to 1.2 seconds, so he's not within the DS window anymore, Mick, that is. And let's see, Simoncic is really close to Michele D'Alessandro through Baggett's, Beckett's, and Chappelle. Let's see, he has the DRS, but it's still quite a way down to Michele D'Alessandro, down into Stowe.
And now Patel's got Van Delft, so Van Delft still dropping back on his medium set of tyres, an old medium set of tyres, but we'd have expected that. That's just his strategy. He's not fighting with these guys effectively. And
he's pitting
in fact,
as well.
Is he pitting? Yes, he's pitting. So into the pits goes Felix Van Delft after 20 laps on the medium compound. That was a good stint there from Van Delft, even though it didn't look like it because he was dropping back. That was all part of the strategy. In as well comes Sergi Eras. I believe Eras has done exactly the same length of time on those tyres. Van Delft now goes onto the soft compound tyre as Eras goes onto the soft as well. So let's do some maths here. That'll be 40 laps in total if they go for another stint on the medium tyre at the end of this race. That'll put them 12 laps on the soft. That's doable. This could be a two-stop from those two drivers.
Yeah, Pets Product, just having a look there on Martin Gosby into Brooklyn. So you're thinking about sort of a dive into that corner, but it's not really the type of corner where you can dive in very easily unless you are just about close enough, which he wasn't. So yeah, he's still behind Martin Gosby. Gosby just slightly dropping off Mohammed Patel at the moment, about 1.5 seconds back. So maybe not quite liking those mediums as he liked the softs earlier in the race, because this front group's spread out a little bit now, also with Vleilapala dropping off back of Paresis, who's dropped off the back of Berliak in turn. So just spacing out a tiny bit here, but still Berliak going for the move on Gosby in the next couple of laps, I would say.
So gaps. Hoyer to D'Alessandro, 7/10 of a second. D'Alessandro to Simoncic, 6/10 of a second now.
We have Felix on left, making a move onto Wojciech Lukaszek into Stowe. Clean move from Felix up into P12, that is.
Yeah, there goes Felix. He's now on his attacking stage of the race with these soft tyres. He needs to make the most of them and go as fast as he can. And Lukaszek pits. So into the pits goes Wojciech Lukaszek from within the points, and he's going to drop back a couple of positions here. He goes on to the medium compound of tyre, so Lukaszek pits for the medium, and out of the pits he goes. That was actually his first stop there, and I think he was on the medium before that. So no, that was his second stop. He was on the soft, so he will definitely be going for a 3-stop strategy in this race. Meanwhile, D'Alessandro gets within 6/10 of a second of Michi Hoyer again, so he definitely hasn't given up. And Simoncic behind him, still, about the same gap actually. It's still extremely close. And as they head down the hanger straight, the DRS flaps open. Sure is an intimidating sight for the race leader when you look back and see two cars with DRS immediately behind you. But Hoyer keeping clean at the minute, and still lapping ahead of anyone else as Across the line they go.
Has Michi Hoyer won a race in WC?
I don't think so. Did
Well,
you?
I saw a YouTube comment just now which said,
I'm just checking.
yeah, it was someone saying that they want Michi to get his first win
Oh,
today.
yeah,
That
he
is David
hasn't.
O'Reilly saying that. So yeah, this will be Michi Hoyer's first win if he can pull it off.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, Hoyer has not won a race yet in Formula SimRacing World Championship. He is the 8th champion from 2016, and then moved up to the World Championship last year. He was close to a couple of victories. He's got pole position a couple of times as well.
Peter Preliak managed to pass Martin Gosby after Brooklands into the hairpin. Not sure how he managed to do this. Let's see if I can find a replay.
It was a mistake from. Oh wow! Actually,
There we go.
well, Berliak went
Let's
around
take a
the
look.
outside of Gosby, tried to hold it, got over the AstroTurf a bit. Gosby then tried to go back around the outside, but Berliak just had the inside. Then Gosby had a twitch and went into the grass, and now Berliak is well ahead, and Gosby has to worry about Jim Paresis. So that's the battle there for 5th position, with Berliak just getting 5th on that last lap there. Gosby 6th, Paresis in 7th, and not far ahead of them, Ahmed Patel. Not far behind them, Villa Lapola.
I wonder if this is the best strategy from Hoyer, because he's defending quite well, even though it's slightly difficult to overtake at this track if you don't get a good exit. I wonder if he's just burning a lot of fuel trying to keep Michele D'Alessandro behind, because we've seen in the past that D'Alessandro uses fuel quite well in previous races, so I'm sure he's not using too much behind Michi, probably just saving some fuel. So hopefully Michi is being smart and not, being inefficient with his fuel to stay in the lead. But it looks like he's holding out quite well. But Simoncic as well is staying very close with these two guys ahead of him.
Yeah, I think the even bigger question than Michi's fuel management is Michi's tire management. You have seen in the last 3 races that Michi often had a bit of a problem managing his tires, stopping earlier than the other leaders, and having to do different strategies basically because it looked like his tire wasn't that good. If he manages to keep his tires in good shape compared to Michele and Gianni, then he has a good chance fighting for the win here.
On instant report, we've lost another driver. Eros Masciuli had an incident somewhere on track and then recovered to the pit lane, but retired there. So we've lost another driver. But you're right about Michi Hoyer. He's certainly got a good chance of a good result here, but he needs to be careful about it. And so far, still holding off Michele D'Alessandro. They both appear to be on the same strategy at this point. And if I was D'Alessandro, I might be wondering if I can picture what Hoyer's next strategy call is going to be and go for something different, just to see if I can put myself ahead, or maybe if not different, undercut him. You know, picture when he's going to pit and pit a lap earlier or something like that, just to get on the fresher tyres sooner and get ahead of your rival. That's the easiest way to pass sometimes. But now the top 3 separated by a second. That's brilliant.
Yeah, considering these guys pit on lap 15, and I assume they're going to go to high lap 30s before they start pitting. So there's still many laps to go of this battling, and I do not see them just waiting around to make pit stops.
And I'm just on board with Gianni Simoncic. He is within the eyes of Michele D'Alessandro. He gained through the hanger straight, and then midway through the straight, he started to lift off. So Gianni is saving a lot of fuel right now behind Michele and Michi.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe he's just being conservative at this point in time. What I'd do is I'd try to pass the opponent and then be conservative about it, because of course it could even be that if Simoncic gets through and Hoyer lets him through, then Hoyer can hold off D'Alessandro while Simoncic saves fuel. That's one thing. Oh, crash at the chicane. Greco has been turned around. So Greco gets turned around. Who was that by? It was George Manasakis, who was fighting with Eras, and I don't believe he actually intended to go for the move. He just sort of, he tried to brake late to get past Eras, tried to make the corner, and tagged David Greco ahead and went around, and Manasakis went around as well. And David Greco, has he lost the engine? Yes, he has. He's out of the race. So, unfortunately, Greco, the innocent victim there, is out of this race, and we have 19 cars remaining.
Yeah, shame for David Greco. He already didn't do qualifying because he didn't think that he would get anywhere apart from last place anyway. So not the best weekend for David Greco, unfortunately.
Yeah.
On
so,
Johnny.
Oh, look at Yerney. That was he was certainly trying to surprise D'Alessandro there.
Yeah, he was just. I think he was just showing Michele, hey, I'm here, I'm right behind you, and trying to push him into a little mistake. There.
Because it is scary. It is scary seeing a driver even having a look from behind, because you don't know what they're going to do a lot of the time. And as a driver in D'Alessandro's position, you feel like it's attack or be attacked. So Yerney is trying to make him make a mistake, really, trying to distract him, trying to worry him, trying to just make him lose his mind a little bit, and sometimes it works. So it's certainly worth doing it. But yeah, Yerney definitely had a look there, if only a speculative one, and well, still behind D'Alessandro. But this is a proper battle for the lead of the race here, and I've just seen a move as well from Felix van Delft, getting past Florian Bakker there. So Van Delft up the inside of Bakker into Brooklands, pulled the move, and that is 10th position now for Felix van Delft. Down the hanger straight again go the leaders. D'Alessandro keeps getting very close into Stowe, but not close enough. I think you need to realistically be less than half a second behind the car in front. That was where Hoyer came from. He came from about 4.5 tenths of a second behind for his move there. But D'Alessandro, well, just over half a second behind rather, and that's all the difference that you need a lot of the time, especially when you're going that fast. So D'Alessandro still behind Michi Hoyer, and well, still not by much. But as we go through lap 28 of the race, it's still Hoyer from D'Alessandro, Simonchik, Patel, Berliak, Gosby, Parisis, Lepala, Birakov, Van Delft. Those are the top 10. Becker, Zappola, Heras, Manasakis, and Giglioni. Those are the 15 cars who will score points if they finish like this.
Actually, in the World Championship, sorry to interrupt you, only the top 10 will score points.
Right, I'm thinking of Ace. So it's the top 10. So down to Felix van Delft. Yeah, I'm thinking of the Ace point scoring positions. And after that, you have Becker, Zappola, Eras, Manasakis, Giglioni, Sadler, Majeur, Lukashek, and Hamnet. And as I said that, Sadler and Giglioni are side by side. And look at Majeur taking advantage of Giglioni being forced off the line. And that's a brilliant move from Majeur. Very opportunistic, but he gets past him. Great move.
Yeah, and something interesting up front is in the last lap, Muhammad Patel gained about half a second to the top 3 there, so he's slowly catching up to them. Maybe Mick and Jenny are going a bit slower there, just staying in the DS train, saving a bit of fuel, and Muhammad Patel is trying to use his chance to close up to these 3.
Just looking back at that move again from Majeur on board. To be honest, I would never have gone for that one. That was brilliant. Look at that. I hope we've seen a replay of it. But yeah, what a brilliant move. But anyway, up the front of the order, they're close as they ever have been. And I'm wondering whether D'Alessandro is trying to set up Michio here, because that seems to be the closest he's been in the first sector for a little while. So definitely watch these two, who are again within a second. Well, these 3 because it's 3 cars separated by a second, I reckon there's a high chance of something changing on the Hangar Straight this time if they stick together through the Maggots and Beckett's S. Maybe this is the lap that either D'Alessandro or Simončić attacks. It's a pretty compromised exit there from D'Alessandro. Can Simončić go for it? I don't think he can. So Simončić still too far behind, and well, maybe if D'Alessandro had used the length of the track there, he might have been able to attack Michihara, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, Patel is definitely catching up, as Peter said a couple of minutes ago. He is almost back onto this little train that we have had for the last 10 laps or so. But yeah, Simončić is going to be... Well, I hope he's not destroying his tyres, because in the pro race earlier, when I was behind another driver, the dirty F through the S's was just killing my tyres. So hopefully he's being smart enough to not destroy his tyres when sitting so close. But all that is doing is allowing Patel to catch up, and even Berliak just about. And just behind them is Gosby and Parisis having a little battle to themselves, a couple of seconds behind the main group. And yeah, not quite close enough to make a move, unfortunately. But yeah, Patel is almost onto the back of this group now.
So Mohamed Patel is catching. 2.1 seconds is the gap. Last time I looked, it was 2.5, so that he is catching. And again, the top 3 separated by just a second through the Sector 1 checkpoint. Again, there might be a move down the Hangar Straight this time. They've been close the whole time, but no one's actually gone for it yet. Will this be about to change? The gap's not close enough, so D'Alessandro is still not quite close enough to Michihara down the straight. And Simončić to D'Alessandro, same story. But Patel now is within 0.8 of a second of Simončić. This is a 4-way battle for the lead.
Yeah, and all Mohamed Patel has to do now is stay within the DS1 of Journey Simončić and save fuel. I would guess he used quite a bit of fuel, and Journey is really, really close to Michele now, down into turn 1. I think he's setting up a move down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. Let's see what Journey can do through turn 3 and 4.
Into the pits comes Kirill Burakov. He can probably go to the end on a medium set.
Journey has Journey has a very bad exit out of turn 4. Only Michele has a little screen freeze. He's fallen back from Michihara. Lucky for Journey Simončić that Journey didn't get collected by Michele there.
Well, I'm just having a look back at that. It wasn't really a screen freeze. It was just sort of a little bit of lag, I think.
Yeah, well, that's usually how it looks when, you know, your game freezes for a split second, then your car jumps back in the game, and that's how many strange incidents in rFactor sadly occur, and this must have been a very scary moment for Journey Simončić seeing Michele's car jump back there down the straight.
Yeah, certainly. It's a very scary situation, and I've been caught out by it before when a driver around me has just suddenly appeared where you don't expect him, and well, it's annoying when you get caught out by it, because you know that it wasn't your fault. You know that it shouldn't have happened, and well,
he's very close now into final chicane, yeah, and Journey going down the inside. Oh wow, that was close, almost some contact, but luckily nothing for them. And Journey's really going for this now. He's trying to get an overlap down into turn 1, but I think he's Oh no, is he going to go for that? Oh no, he's thinking about it, but he decided not to go for it at the end. That is great racing, but again, Patel is now right behind them, coming into this first DRS zone of the lap. And yeah, this is basically a proper four-man fight now.
Who has quite a good exit out of turn 4, but Journey is using a higher engine mode right now. You can see how he just drives away from Mohamed Patel on the straight.
Now the attack comes. We were waiting for it from Simončić. We were waiting for it this entire time. We knew that he was going to. And now he's attacking as he's seen Patel in his rear. Patel is basically smoking him out here. And Simončić knows he has to attack or be attacked. And he's attacking. Now, who's going to take advantage as they head onto the Hangar Straight this time? Look at Petr Berliak as well. Berliak is catching this group. And Berliak is Patel's teammate. So maybe it's going to be a team versus team battle. ACR versus Musto. And with one Sabima racing car in the mix, this will be an interesting one.
It looks like
Now down into the chicane. This is where Simuncic had a look last lap, but he can't get close enough to D'Alessandro this time around. It's a very ambitious move when it happens because, of course, the corners after Vale are right-handers, so you don't want to be on the left-hand side. And now,
and you can see how all of the top guys there, the top 4, everyone picked up the pace. Everyone is going much faster than before. You can see how the gaps are getting a bit quicker, and Mick is really close to Michi Hoyer now down the exit of turn 4. He will make a move down the Wellington Straight. Michi Hoyer already defensive, covering the inside line, and
to the
Michele.
outside goes D'Alessandro. He's going to leave his braking late, and he sweeps through into the lead of the race, and he gets it slowed in time. D'Alessandro retakes the lead of this race from Michi Hoyer, ahead of Jene Simuncic. But what a move from D'Alessandro. He's back into the lead as George Manisakis pits. But we've had a change, and Michi Hoyer is down into second position with 20 laps remaining. We expect these guys are all going to have to stop again. Well, we know these guys are all going to have to stop again. But I think they're going to stay out probably about 4 more laps so they can switch onto the softs for the end. But, well, fantastic to see a move like that into Brooklands. And now it's, well, it's Sabima, ACR, Musto. And, well, that's really spiced up the battle. It's 0.6 of a second back to Hoyer now. And behind him, about half a second back to Simuncic. And Patel is about 0.6 behind him, followed by Berliak about a second behind Patel. It's still extremely close between everyone here, but D'Alessandro already putting the hammer down. He's been released here as he's free of Hoyer, who appeared to be driving conservatively there. And well,
I wonder if Michele was just saving fuel, and now he's going to try and use some fuel to pull away just before the pit stops, because pit stops will be coming up in the next sort of 4 or 5 laps, as you just said. So he's probably going to try and make a gap right now, hoping that Hoyer used a bit too much fuel defending earlier. Though it seems like Hoyer's staying with him at this moment in time.
By using the fuel, of course, these drivers have. We mean that these drivers have 7 different engine modes which you can activate throughout the race. Of course, with 1 to 7 being slowest to fastest, effectively. But of course, you do use more fuel, being faster. The drivers try to put in not the maximum in terms of the fuel capacity because they want to save weight. But that does mean they have to drive slightly conservatively sometimes, and maybe that's just what Hoyer was doing there, and maybe that's what D'Alessandro is not doing now.
And Johnny is
And
pitting.
into the pits comes Simuncic. So Simuncic pits now and tries to get the undercut on his rivals. Do we think that with this lightened fuel load, he can do 19 or 18 laps on the soft tyre?
Definitely.
It is possible. He's going to basically go for track position here and hope that his tyres don't die at the end, but it is definitely possible in terms of physically getting to the end.
Switches onto the softer compounder tyre, and I expect he'll be going to the end of the race from here. It'll be 18 laps he has to traverse. Actually, 17 now. I think it's close to 18, but whatever. It's a long time for the soft tyres, and yet he'll be going for track position and hoping that he can hold on at the end. Of course, he's trying to get the undercut on his rivals here. He was behind Hoyer and D'Alessandro, but by pitting earlier and getting onto those fresher tyres, maybe he's going to try to jump them both here. Of course, he won't be too bothered about Hoyer, his teammate, but with D'Alessandro, he's the guy he really wants to beat here.
And I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of fuel Johnny saved throughout the stint, being in the DS all the time. Might just turn his engine up to the maximum on his outlap to make sure he undercuts both Michi Hoyer and Michele D'Alessandro. And both of them have to pit this lap. Michele is pitting, Michi is pitting. I think Mu and Peter must pit as well.
Michele is in the pits with Michi Hoyer, but I was just looking, Michele's middle sector was so much quicker than the two Mustos. He was obviously pushing on his in-lap. Let's see what Jene Simuncic actually was only quicker than everyone but Michele D'Alessandro in the middle sector, so that was definitely a good middle sector by by Michaela. Let's see where Yanni comes out. He is coming through someone just now, so it's always going to be very close actually. But he's got. Oh,
There
no,
will
not
be
quite.
side by side into turn 3. Johnny
Oh,
around the
wow.
outside. Johnny, he has inside for the next corner, but now Michele should get the DRS. Let's see if he was behind at the detection point. Yes, he will get a DRS. He will make a move down the Wellington Straight. Johnny going defensive down the inside for Brooklands. Michele around the outside. Johnny defends the position. Later on the brakes, he goes right. Johnny the inside for the next turn. Michele goes around the outside. They're still side by side on the exit.
Has he stuck it there? Simonchik is going to have the inside for Woodcut here. He does, and he's going to keep it for Cops. But you need the outside here because you need to... Oh, my word! They're going side by side through Cops! How brave can you get? Fantastic! And he kept it in gear 8. Oh, no, he didn't. He switched down into gear 7. But they're still side by side. And it's Simonchik who gets it. Simonchik gets it after going side by side through Cops' corner. Fantastic! That's far too brave for my liking.
That was brilliant. Great racing by these two. And Hoyer is actually going to have a look now down onto Michele D'Alessandro. Yes, he's gone for it on the inside. Oh, very close. They almost locked wheels there, but no contact made. And Hoyer's now going to try to go around the outside into the final chicane. And he's going to keep it around there. He's going into the final corner. Oh, Mitchie loses the back end a bit. He's still there on the inside. They've been side by side for about 500 metres now, and they're still going. And
they got into each other's hitboxes. Wow. That's amazing. They were... Hoyer's front wheel was not touching Alessandro's rear wheel. It was overlapping with
turn 3, but not quite. The Hoyer's definitely going
jumped
for
the Musto cars.
Wow.
They were ahead of them anyway, but they seem to have got further ahead now. And, wow, what a race that was. Simonchik still ahead of D'Alessandro and Hoyer. Jim Parisis is ahead of them, but he will still need to stop. So it's Parisis leading for now, but effectively it's Simonchik who has jumped both D'Alessandro and Hoyer.
Yeah, that was a crazy lap from these drivers. That was definitely the go time. They were using as much fuel as they could spare and really going for it. And yeah, in the end, Yerne managed to get the lead from Michaela. So now, actually no, Michaela's using his fuel. Is he going to go round the outside into Maggots? That is a very brave move if he does it. Oh yes, no contact. And again, around the outside, leaving tons of room, and he might even get DRS.
He will have the DRS.
So that was a brilliant move.
Yeah, the detection point should be before Beckett's. Yes, he has the DRS before Beckett's, I should say. And now Mitchie without DRS in the slipstream. Does Johnny make a move? No. Mitchie shows that he's still there to Michele, but Michele stays ahead. And now Johnny and Mitchie battling for P2.
This is a day of brilliant, brave moves there. As D'Alessandro went past Simonchik in Maggots and Beckett's. You don't see that unless your name is Max Verstappen. And Jim Parisis now pits. So Jim Parisis pits for the softer tyres. He will be going easily to the end of the race here. Well, it's never easy, but he will be going to the end of the race. Yeah, what a move from D'Alessandro. And now the ACR drivers have again the task of chasing him down, but they're the other way round to the way they were before. A fantastic race so far, and as they went down the Hangar Straight, the gap was about half a second. Into the pits comes Sergi Eras. He's exiting on a pair of soft tyres. Anyone who pits from now on will switch to the soft tyres, I'm sure. But I just saw that D'Alessandro was trying to break the slipstream, even down the national pit straight there. So D'Alessandro obviously still feels there's a threat from the two ACR cars behind him. And not far behind them are the two Musto cars, as Zappola and Bakker go side by side. Becker gets sideways. That was a close one, but Zappola keeps it.
It was full opposite lock there, trying to keep it, but managed to keep it in a straight line. Yeah, Zappola has ended ahead there, but I think Becker's going to go around the outside here. Wow, try to go on the outside of Cops. No contact. That is brilliant stuff. Can he keep it on the inside for Maggots? Yes, he can. So that is Becker around the outside of Zappola for what is 12th place. And I think they have both made their last pit stop. So yeah, that is 4th position.
Fantastic there from Becker. Florian Becker up into 12th position, despite going full opposite lock sideways after contact. And they made contact twice at Cops, I counted. But, well, brilliant battles throughout this field. You don't know where to look a lot of the time. Into the pits comes James Sadler for his final stop. He'll be going on to the softer compound tyre. He's pitting from 11th. He will drop to, well, he'll drop a couple of positions here, possibly to about 17th. But out of the pits he goes now on the soft compounded tyre. I think he might just keep 16th here actually, but still it's a long way outside of the points as the top 10 score points here.
Petr Breliak set the purple lap time last time, so he was the quickest man of the race. I won 28.6, certainly pushing on his outlap, or his first flying lap after he pit even, and then he's gone purple again in the first sector of this lap. Let's see what he does in the middle sector.
Oh, Mitchie has a problem. Mitchie slows down on the hanger straight, and Breliak and Patel both went past. It looked like his pedal, his brake pedal spiked because his DRS closed and he got very slow.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Yeah, that's the brake coming. Well, not the brake, but that's the clutch coming on. I'm looking at the telemetry. His brake didn't come on, but his clutch.
No, he went to neutral. So I think he hit the clutch, so he could get back in the gears. Yeah, unfortunately for him, yeah. So he went into neutral on the straight. I don't know if that was him changing a menu on his wheel, but yeah, that is him down into 4th place, now battling with Petr Breliak. So he has lost about 3 seconds or 2 seconds there, unfortunately. And Breliak going to have a move here down into Brooklands. He's not quite close enough. Can he keep it around the outside? No, he just backs out of that. Yeah,
tell you what,
losing some places there.
Very good that the clutch was engaged during all of that, because otherwise the engine would have absolutely gone poof. But whatever the case, Patel has got past Hoyer for 3rd position. So Patel on course for a podium, last year's champion. But this year's championship leader and championship 2nd are ahead of him. In fact, the top 3 in the race are the top 3 in the championship in the same order. So in fact, these cars fighting at the front, these are the top 5 in the championship. The only difference is that Breliak and Hoyer are the other way round. So if those two switch, we could finish in championship order here.
Yeah, in WC we do not have any assists, not even auto clutch. So Mitchie putting on the clutch there would have been himself on his pedal box. Obviously, that is quite a smart thing to do, because in Australia, Martin Crosby had the same thing. He went to neutral on the straight, didn't realise, put it in 1st gear, and unfortunately ended him and Jim Priest's race. So that was actually quite good for Mitchie, noticing that quickly enough and dipping the clutch to make sure he didn't accidentally put it in 1st gear or something like that and kill his engine. Some purple sectors going on here. Last lap, Breliak sector 1 purple and Mitchie sector 2 purple. And Breliak's going round the not quite going around the outside of Mitchie Hoyer. So Breliak's definitely looking quick right now. He's done purple he's on purple 1st sector again this lap, so he is really pushing, but unfortunately still in P5 at this moment. And obviously Breliak is the 2015 World Champion from the SimRacing.
Yeah, so they're still fighting at the front of the order. The top 5 separated by 2 seconds. Brilliant. Into the pits come Lukashek and Mazur for their last time. Mazur, of course.
On Patel is close. Patel is close to Jim's journey, but it looks like Johnny turned his engine up. He's driving away from Muda down the hanger straight, and yeah, it looks like Johnny saved quite a bit of fuel in the earlier stints to be able to use the higher engine modes that much.
I tell you what, whichever way this championship goes, it's not going to tell the whole story, is it? Because these cars are so close, and they have been for pretty much the whole season, that the difference between 1st and 5th is a microsecond a lot of the time. And really, any of these drivers would probably win the championship if they were racing anyone else.
Yeah, these drivers are certainly very close on speed, and as we can see, definitely the 2 best teams in this league are A-Star and Musto, as it seems, because they are right in this train right now, one after the other. And this is going to be very difficult for instance, like Patel at this moment, because he's so close to Yeni, but then Yeni is so close to Michaela as well. And yeah, this is just where they'll be, as I said before, using their brains, working out when they can use their fuel, when they use their tyres, when they back off. But at the moment, they're definitely all pushing very hard.
Yeah,
Patel's very close here, coming in.
Mitchie as well.
DRS zone.
He closed the gap to Muhammad Patel. Has a bit of a not the best around through Maggots and backcuts. Let's see. Patel. No, Simoncic is driving away on the straights again. Yeah, not quite the time to make a move. It seems everybody stays in formation.
So the gap's 8 tenths between first and second, 4 tenths between second and third, 4 tenths between third and fourth, 5 tenths between fourth and fifth. That's nothing. As they cross the line, the gaps adjust slightly, but still the top 5 separated by less than 2 tenths of a second. It would be a battle if second and third and fourth weren't even there. This is amazing. So D'Alessandro leading an absolutely hungry chain here of all of his championship rivals. This is like a driver's nightmare, but it's brilliant to watch, I tell you. Now as we head down the hangar straight, they've all got their DRS open except for D'Alessandro up the front, and still no one close enough to make a move due to the fact that the cars ahead of them also have their DRSs open. Through Luffield we go and out towards Woodcote. Slow corner for Patel, and Hoyer's got a good run there, but of course there's no overtaking into Copse unless you're extremely brave. He's going for it high to the inside.
No, he backed out that one, unfortunately. And Berliak has gone all over the grass on the exit. But yeah, unfortunately, Mitchie backed out of that. That was definitely an opportunity for him to get past Patel. Maybe he should have gone for that, but it was very tight. Copse is not really a corner. You want to go side by side, even though we have seen a couple of people do it. Oh, and Michael is on the grass coming down the back straight, trying to get out of the slipstream of Jerne Simoncic.
Yeah, the car that did that earlier was the... I can't remember who it was now, but someone did it very, very well. But anyway, brilliant race nonetheless. And, well, these gaps aren't coming out, are they? Look at that. They're still all together. And, well, I can't call it. Any of these 5 drivers could win this race. It all depends on what the others do.
Oh, Johnny made a mistake. Simoncic made the mistake in turn 3. He went over the anti-card, lost a bit of momentum, and Muhammad Patel really close now.
Yeah, he's got to do this. This is his chance. He needs to take this round the outside into Brooklands. Mohamed Patel, he's slightly ahead. Oh, wow, that was very close contact. You only had to go all over the curb on the inside, which blocked Hoyer a little bit. But yeah, that is Patel up into second place. That is all because Simoncic made a mistake into turn 3 it was. And
yeah, actually sent the corner cone flying there. He went so close to the inside. He was over the grass. But Patel keeps the place. In fact, did he get shoved by his teammate? Not quite, but Hoyer very nearly shoved the rear end of Simoncic's car on the exit of Brooklands. And, well, he'd probably be better off actually shoving him, but still,
Martin Gosby has gone off. Martin Gosby has gone off at Copse. He has lost a place to Jim Paresis and Ville Lapella. So he's gone off at Copse. I'm not sure if that involved someone else. Let's have a look.
It did. It was contact with Paresis. He was trying to go to the inside and did try to hold it. The two of them locked wheels, and Gosby went for a full 360-degree spin and lost 1 position to Ville Lapella. But if that had happened earlier in the race, that would have been really scary. It was scary as it was. But full 360-degree spin, and he kept going. Maybe D'Alessandro's got the hammer down now, because he has just set his fastest lap of the race by a long way, 128.5, and he's pulling the gap out. It's now over 1.6 seconds at the head of the field. Of course, that's been helped by all that's been going on with Simoncic and Patel behind him, but D'Alessandro is pulling the gap out. It's now 1.5 seconds. His nearest makes no difference. And behind him, Patel, Simoncic, Hoyer and Berliak still right together. Then it's Paresis, Lepela, Gosby, Van Delft and Burakov with less than 10 laps to go now. Those are the drivers who will score points if it finishes like this. And after them, Becker, Zappala, Heras, Sadler, Manasakis, Lukaszek, Majeur and Hamnet are still running. And then we have retirements from 19th down to 25th. With David Greco and Gianfranco Giglioni retiring since last time I mentioned the two. I'm going to go and find out what happened to the two of them. It was a little while ago.
Mitch Hoyer making a move on Johnny Simoncic. He's passed Johnny Simoncic down into Stowe. Hoyer on the podium position. Simoncic down to P4, being P2 3 laps ago.
Yeah, so through into second position now does go, or into third. now does go higher, and that might have been Team Orders. I'll have to have a look at it, because those two are teammates there. But, well, at this stage in the race, I don't think Team Orders will be quite so well respected, due to the fact that everyone
Petrolak going down the oh wow, Petrolak, sorry, look down the inside of Yanni Simčić. He's still there, coming out through Ainbury onto the back straight. He really centered down the inside of Yanni Simčić. I don't think Boliak's actually got, well, he's not opening his DRS anyway, even though he should have it. He's trying to go around the outside of Simčić to get the inside of Luffield. Can he get it? Oh, not quite. He's trying to get his nose in there. Yes, he's got it in there. Can he keep it? No, Simčić gets it on the exit. Well, Brodek is really trying, and couldn't quite get it. It's good defensive moves from Yanni Simčić. But again, still no contact from these drivers. And again on the outside, but no. That move has eventually ended. Wow.
Yeah, Boliak gave it his best shot there, but still no move, as Simčić's been dropping back in the last couple of laps. But, well, first to fourth from Simčić. Will he lose another place? He'll certainly be holding on to it. But for now, he's not quite there. And Patel's already setting about trying to pull the gap back on D'Alessandro. He's gained about 0.8 of a second in the last 2 laps, so he's really going for it. And D'Alessandro is not out of the woods yet. Into the pits comes Hamnet. He's left Uxton very late, and he's pitting now for the softer compounded tyre. He'll probably regret not doing that earlier, but maybe thought he could run it to the end of the race and couldn't quite. Another 1/10 of a second taken out of the lead. Patel still catching D'Alessandro. Behind him, Hoyer 0.9 of a second behind, and pretty much very nearly side by side are Simčić and Boliak. Still very close.
And don't forget, Jenny Simčić was the first one of these 5 to pit for the soft tires, so there might be a possibility that Johnny's tires are a bit going to the cliff right now. That they're a bit slower than the tires of all these others in the top 4.
Yeah, I said that would happen. He was just going for the track position really when he did it, but he's still holding on to that 4th position. And I think, unless there's a mistake from ahead, that's probably the best he can manage at this stage in the race. He needs to let his teammate go and chase down the leading 2, even though the leading 2 are getting away a little bit. Can Patel bring himself within DRS range of D'Alessandro again? He needs to do that as quickly as he possibly can. Not quite.
Oh, and Journey is going for it. Journey will pass Mitchie Hoyer there. Mitchie very slow on the straight. I think Johnny might have turned his engine up down the Hanger straight.
Maybe they did that by team orders, because that gives Journey a nice gap to Boliak now. And obviously, Simčić is leading in the championship, and he needs to get the points on Michele D'Alessandro. Even if he's not going to beat Michele, he needs to lose as little point as possible. And Brodak's actually going to try and go around the outside of Mitch Hoyer to turn 1, and he's just about done. I think it might have been saving a bit of fuel, so Boliak's through as well. So maybe actually it was just Hoyer needing to save some fuel and not any sort of team orders, because Boliak is through as well now. So that is going to resume the battle with Simčić, and Patel is certainly not letting Michele get away, because the gap was about 1.5, 1.6 seconds 2 or 3 laps ago, and it's now down to under a second, 0.8 seconds it is. So they are definitely, or Patel is definitely pushing. He has not got a win yet this season, despite dominating the first half of last year. So he's definitely going to be going for this win today.
Tell you what, I gripped onto my seat there. It didn't look like Hoyer was going to make the corner and that he was going to hit Boliak, but luckily that didn't happen. I'll just quickly correct you there. Simčić is not leading the championship. He's behind by 6 points. So D'Alessandro is extending his championship lead if they finish as they are. But Simčić needs to make sure he doesn't lose many points here.
Something looks really odd with Mitchie right now. He's losing a lot of time. So either, what we've mentioned earlier, his tires are not in a good shape anymore. Or
he's short shifting.
Oh, he used another. Sorry.
Has he used up too much fuel?
Yes, too much fuel. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, he's probably done a fuel calculation with 5 laps to go and be like, oh, I need to save some. And he's still got quite a bit of room to Jim Paresis, so he might as well fill in that gap if he just wants to concede and get 5th place. But yeah, he was definitely short shifting when I was watching him coming towards the end of the lap. Let's have a look here.
Yeah,
well,
it's a shame that we've lost him from this battle.
Yeah.
He's dropped back from Boliak ahead of him. In fact, there appears to be 2 battles now, as D'Alessandro and Patel are going at it, and then Simuncic and Boljak, but they're slightly further behind now. There's a bit of a gap between 2nd and 3rd, so it's been split up a bit, but it's still very close towards the end of this race, and you still don't really know where to look. And still, 6th place is close, as Lepela has been catching Paresis. They're now separated by about 0.8 of a second. Still close for 8th between Gosby and Van Delft, and still close for 12th between Zappala and Eras, even though they're out of the point. Still close for 15th between Lukashek and Manasakis. And now Patel goes defensive. D'Alessandro goes defensive rather from Patel. The gap is 5 tenths of a second. A couple of laps ago it was 2 seconds. So Patel's been catching and catching. And now, into the gravel goes Eras. And through goes Zappala. It wasn't dramatically into the gravel, but he certainly dipped 2 wheels in. And Zappala goes through into 12th position. So battles up and down the field, even though that's outside of the points, it's still exciting. And we are now on lap 50 out of 52. It's D'Alessandro from Patel, Simuncic, Boljak, Hoyer, Paresis, Lepela, Gosby, Van Delft and Birakov. Those are the top 10.
And Boljak back in move, Boljak back in move into turn 3.
Boljak and Simuncic. Boljak gets Simuncic. Up into 3rd position goes Boljak. He went through on the inside of Village Corner, left his braking later and got through. And Peter Boljak is up into 3rd position now. The 2 Musto cars have swapped positions with the 2 ATR cars.
Yeah, this is really not good for Jene Simoncic's championship challenge. He's only a few points behind Michele D'Alessandro, but at this moment D'Alessandro will be gaining, I think, 13 points on him if it finishes like this. So Simoncic really needs to try and get back past Peter Boljak, but maybe his tyres are starting to wear, as we said before. He was the first one to pit, and this might not have been the best option in the on how it comes out. But Patel is looking right now.
Yeah. Watch Patel. He might go for it here. He's got the DRS.
Close enough. No, not
quite. Well, he was less than 4.5 tenths of a second behind D'Alessandro heading onto that straight, but couldn't quite make the most of it there. He had a little speculative look, but wasn't able to pull it. And after this lap, the gap is 6 tenths of a second as we have 2 laps remaining. This one and another. We're on the penultimate lap of the race. The leaders are close. 3rd place is close. 6th place is close. 8th place is close. You don't know where to look still. This is brilliant. Now, as we head onto the hangar straight, how close can Patel get to D'Alessandro? He's got the DRS again, but I don't think he's going to be close enough for an actual move here. Actually, well, no, he's not, but he's very close. 4 tenths of a second again, just like last lap, but it's even closer than it was last lap. So maybe he's going to be even closer down the Wellington, or down the hangar straight this time. If he is, I've got no doubt he's going to go for it. He needs to try something at this late stage of the race. So D'Alessandro and Patel still right with each other. And Patel just needs to hang with him through the Maggots Beckett's Chapel complex on this lap. So let's see how well he does that. It's all going to be about what the gap is as they enter the DRS zone here. D'Alessandro takes a tight exit just to break the slipstream. They're not close enough. Again, Patel still ahead as Zappala and Eras go side by side for 12. There's going to be contact and they both spin. That's for 12th position. They made contact at Luffield there with Zappala on the inside. Eras was forced over the grass and collided with Zappala. They both locked wheels and spun. Didn't lose any places, but at this late stage in the race, that's disappointing. And now Eras gets Zappala.
And we are on to the final lap here in Silverstone. Mohamed Patel only half a second back from Michele D'Alessandro. So after all of this battling from this top 5, it is down to just 2 drivers on this last lap to see who can win this race. Who has saved enough fuel? Let's see what Patel can do. He is closing very rapidly. Can he dive it down the inside? No, he decides to back out of that and for this moment.
Michele was really close there to just flying off the track. He went onto the grass just before the braking zone. Would he have braked on the grass, he would have lost the car completely. And Moose on a higher engine mode. He's trying to make a move into Cops. Side by side to Cops.
Can he manage this on the final lap of the race? It looks like he can. He's going to keep that. He's got the inside line. Who's going to get it? It's all about who can yield. D'Alessandro's still there, but look at Patel.
Oh, Patel spins.
Patel
Oh, wow.
spins. He holds it. He's done a 360-degree spin. Berliak's going to get second. Berliak goes through. Simonchik's right with him. They're side by side. No! More contact there in the wall. Huge crash. Simonchik and Patel have been into the barrier on the final lap of that race. We saw it coming, and they've come together. And D'Alessandro, through the final chicane, is going to win the race. He's made contact with Patel, but he's managed to hold on. And D'Alessandro, around the final corner, wins the race. A very dramatic final lap. Berliak somehow gets second. Hoyer is going to come into third, creeps through the wreckage. Jim Parisis gets a surprise fourth position.
Wow.
Fifth is going to be Villa Lepola. Sixth is going to be Patel, running off the road and into the gravel. Simonchik is seventh. Gosby is going to just hold on to eighth from Felix van Delft, who finishes ninth. And Kirill Burakov is 10th on the final lap from Florian Becker. No, that's a lapped car. But wow, I need to stop speaking. That was unbelievable and a terrible end to the race.
Yeah, that is something I have never seen before. Usually you don't see, a world champion and twice second place person in the World Championship to make contact like that on the final lap, but they did. This is what you get when they're battling so hard for these positions, and in the end, Ville managed to get past both of them as both Mu and Yerne as they both lost their front wing. I wonder what is going to happen in the stewards' room with that one, because I mean, it's difficult to say at this moment if there was any fault or if it's just a racing incident, but that is not really what you want to see. And I mean, we're going to see if we can try and pull some of these drivers in for an interview, but I don't know what they're gonna think about that.
Well,
in the moment
just had
after
a
the
look
incident.
from
I'm trying.
on board. Had a look from on board Patel. He will say that D'Alessandro turned in on D'Alessandro will say, you had no right in being there. That was an absolute mad place on the track to do it. And then as for the other incident, it seemed that Berliak was reluctant to actually get ahead of his teammate there. He wanted to protect his teammate somehow. And Patel, well, it seems Simonchik tried to steer out of Berliak's slipstream, just trying to... Well, he didn't know that Patel was still there. They locked wheels, both went into the wall hard. And I'm surprised that there wasn't a retirement out of those two, because in reality that would have been a double retirement on the last lap. And wow, what drama, what absolute rubbish drama.
Yeah, and just looked at the replay. This was really unfortunate. It looked like, from the replay point of view, that Johnny tried to go side, tried to make a move on Priliak, but Muhammad Patel was still next to him. Wow, what a last lap of this race.
Absolutely, and well done to Michele D'Alessandro for holding on to the car and winning it after 1 hour and 19 seconds, pretty much exactly, of 1 hour and 19 minutes, rather, not 1 minute and 19 seconds. That would be a very short race. But D'Alessandro wins the race, followed by Petar Briliak. 3.2 seconds the gap of victory in the end after all of the carnage, followed by Michi Hoyer, Jim Parisis, Villa Lapola, Mohamed Patel, Yerne Simonchik, Martin Gosby, Felix van Delft, and Kirill Burakov, who scored the points from this race. And now we have our first driver in for interviews, and it's going to be Michi Hoyer. Hello, Michi.
Hey, everyone.
So, Michi, in the first half of the race there, when you were leading, did you think that you could win that race, or did you just sort of use too much fuel? Because I noticed that you were doing pretty well at that point, but it sort of fell away after that.
This was pretty much what happened. Yes, I did think actually we have chances winning that race. However, just as you said, being in the lead in a DRS slipstream train of 5 means you burn that just bit of extra fuel that was missing in the end, and that was the reason for the 10-second drop off I had in the end, because every single lap when I was in the lead, going out of corners, I had to boost in order to cover a potential overtake attempt of D'Alessandro. Every single time I went out of the corners, I literally have to give it a boost just in case Michele wanted to overtake, I could have covered it. having finished that race, probably that was the wrong approach. Because I was looking at the gaps and suddenly I saw, right, despite DRS and whatnot, Michele was not really gaining on me, and I was like, all right, he's sitting there, DRS open, boost 1, engine mixture 1, and like save fuel for the end. And that was like the thing that broke my neck in the end.
Well, so well done anyway for getting P3 in the end. Unfortunately, there was a bit of an incident ahead, but however, somebody managed to get in front and avoid all that was Michele D'Alessandro. So, Michele, well done. Congratulations on another victory. So, how was that race for you, sitting behind Michi in that middle part of the race?
It was really hard to stay with them during the race. They were ACR, Yerney and Michi were really fast today. It was very hard, and luckily, yeah, well, I win, but I had an incident with my teammate, so I'm not really happy. I don't know. Honestly, we will talk later, but it's not really the best result. After a great race, we had a lot of fights with Yerney, with Michi during the race. But it's a shame that ended like that. I think it's my fault, but nothing I can really do now.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to say right now because obviously everyone saw it in a split second. But I mean, you still did pretty well in the race, so so well done for that.
Thank you.
So Petter, hello, welcome.
Hello.
So how was that race for you? Because I noticed that after the second pit stop, you were doing purple sector after purple sector, but you were still in 5th place and couldn't get past.
Yeah, that was a bit of a crazy race, especially the last stint. Yeah, I had an okay start, but I just had to stay in a train. So I used that to save my fuel, and then in the second stint, I started to make my move. And being in a higher mix than usual. And started catching the front-running train. Yeah, and then I bolted onto DRS like close to the last stop. And just tried to pass the ACR cars once they fell behind, but that was really difficult because they were swapping, they were slowing down in places deliberately, but of course there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so I had a tough time.
Was your idea to always have the better tyres at the end of the race? Because I noticed you went longer on both your stints.
Yeah, because first and also I had low tire wear because I was following cars. So yeah, I think I could have went 17 even in the first stint. But yeah, to not lose too much time, I had to pit.
All right, thank you very much. Michi, I got another question for you. I just remembered. What happened on the back straight? Did you accidentally click your neutral button?
Yes, I did.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to work out what happened there exactly, but you did well to dip the clutch and not blow your engine like we saw some people do in the past.
Yeah, luckily I just thought about that before switching the gears. Like I slipped back to gear 5 before I released the clutch again.
Do you have your neutral button on your steering wheel then?
Yes, I do. You know, ironically, I've raced with a neutral button in that very same place for like the entire season. Just got my new button box like two weeks ago, and I just 10 minutes before the race, I thought, what about putting away that neutral there to not accidentally click it? I didn't.
Well, yeah, you handled it quite well, I have to say, because we were a bit confused what you were doing. We thought you were sort of letting someone pass, but no, it was a mistake.
No, it was a mistake I was really pissed about, but in the end it wouldn't have mattered because I was so short on fuel in the end. I had to do lift and coast and stuff. It was a miscalculation in my math accidentally, so that didn't help me as well.
All right, Michaela, just the last question for you. So how do you think this incident will change your approach in the future, or will you and your you know, you and Moo, for instance, with your systems, are you going to still keep on battling, you know, completely 100%, or are you going to sort of think about the championship in the second half of the season?
No, I think we will fight 100% every race. Of course, we will analyze what we did, what I did, and we will talk about it, and not hopefully we will not ever happen again.
Okay, that's good. That's good to see, because I have to say, when I saw you and Moo going side by side into the cops, I was like, this is good racing. You know, last lap, teammates. That's really good stuff. So well done for that.
I think in general it was good racing from what I saw on the top 5. There were not too much contact, and like, big hats off for everyone giving respect on the track, I would like to say, because going through that quick corners and narrow corners, like opening up or closing towards the apex, mistakes are done easily. And
yeah, there was one moment where the top 5, you were within, all 5 of you were within 2 seconds of each other from 1st to 5th.
yeah,
And even then, you were still barely making any sort of contact or anything. You were leaving just the amount of racing room, so it was very good race, I have to say. But yeah, thank you guys for the interviews, and well done on your position. So that is it from today from Silverstone, and in 2 weeks' time we race again from Hockenheim with the same format of Pro, Ace, and WC. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and from me, Joshua Penny, and Peter Schulze, we'd like to say thank you, and we will see you next time.
See you then.
Hey man, I got that new 10X Thrustmaster wheel. It's going down.
Xbox One?
I can't wait to play when I get home.
Yo, let me play.
Yeah, so I'll play first.
No, I'll race you for it.
So I have a hand.